Alright, y'all, what's up? I'm back. I'm a little drunk, so bear with me. This is gonna be a very interesting review. Hopefully I can get it done. But we about to get into episode 2. Baddies ATL has dropped. We getting into this review. I don't know if this lighting is good, but I mean, we gonna make it do what it do. So the episode starts back with Natalie and Christina. They're just basically just ending off the cliffhanger fight that we got last week. So as far as I'm concerned, Natalie won the fight, if you ask me. A lot of y'all might be thinking another way. You might be feeling the type of way because I said that, but Natalie won the fight, if you ask me. I didn't see Christina throw not one hand. I saw a lot of hair pulling from both, but Natalie was throwing some punches. I saw her connect a couple of them. So as far as I'm concerned, Natalie whooped, I ain't gonna say she whooped Christina's ass, but she definitely won the fight. And Christina was talking all that shit afterwards, saying like, yeah, I pulled your hair, and yada, yada, yada. So it's very interesting to see how it all went down. I like both girls, truthfully. But as far as the fight is concerned, they broke it up a little too quick. They both was throwing hands at one point, but like I said, as far as I'm concerned, I think Natalie won the fight. Christina pulled Natalie's wig off. She was talking shit about how she pulled her wig off. They was laughing. Christina mentioned how Seven and Janelle had walked into the room after the fight had happened. And you could tell she kind of was like, I guess she was saying that in terms of like, saying she looked crazy after all the fight. And she's basically getting her hair pulled. Natalie kind of had her down. The security had her down. So in a way, it seemed like Christina was more so worried about the fact of how she looked. And how the girls were actually looking at her and seeing how she's literally getting her hair pulled. Like I said, as far as I'm concerned, it looked to me like Natalie won the fight. If you think otherwise, you think otherwise. That's your opinion, but that's my opinion. Round 1, Natalie got that one. But after the fight, everybody's in the room trying to figure out what the fuck went down and how it happened. Natalie and Christina are going back and forth talking shit. Natalie's talking to Christina about how she was talking shit about her husband. And Christina's saying like, bitch, you ain't do nothing but pull my hair, yada, yada, yada. Let me get at her so I can fight her. Let me fuck her up, yada, yada, yada. They're just going back and forth, back and forth. Natalie's talking shit, saying how she's gonna go get her wig done. You pulled my wig, but I'm about to go get another wig installed. And Christina takes Natalie's wig and throws it out the window. That was funny, but it's natural Christina. Like, if you know Christina, you know how Christina gets down with the wigs and the weaves. Insert the clip of Julie getting her weave burnt.
Watch it burn slowly, bitch.
So, yeah, I mean, this is Christina's wheelhouse. Taking the bitch's hairs and setting them on fire or throwing them out the window. As in this case, throwing it out the window. But yeah, I mean, the fight is escalated. They're both pissed off. They're both talking shit. Everybody's trying to figure out what happened, so we're trying to figure this out from here. Alright, so I'm back. I had to put these glasses on. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I just came back from a little get-together with my friends. We had a cookout. I had a little bit too much to drink. My eyes are a little hazy. I'm a little tipsy. I can't be on here looking okay. But back to the episode. So we get Natalie and Christina basically in 2 separate rooms rehashing the situation with 2 different girls. So we got Sarah in the room with Natalie and we got Seven and Janelle in the room with Christina. So with that, Christina is rehashing everything with Janelle and Sarah, or with Janelle and Seven. And basically she's saying like she got up in my face, she was talking all this shit, and when she get up in my face, I'ma crack her. And she's saying how she cracked her. As far as I can tell, she didn't necessarily crack her. She swung, Natalie blocked it. Natalie's in the other room talking about how like, man, I ain't got time for this bullshit. Like, I gotta fight everybody. I gotta meet Tanisha in a couple hours. Probably gonna have to fight her soon too. And Natalie's like, I don't have time to be getting my wigs reinstalled every single time because I'm fighting everybody. it's just funny because they both just rehashing the situation. Sarah's laughing, Seven and Janelle are laughing. Seven saying basically like, look, if you get in arm's reach like this, you getting fucked up. Like, that's just what is going down. Like, we ain't got time for that shit. I'm not playing that bullshit. And Janelle's laughing, saying like Christina took Natalie's wig and threw it outside, and she's just imagining the wig going down the floor like that. Like, it's just funny. They're just rehashing the fight. Not much is really going on. It's just basically back to back. Them just trying to figure out the storyline and trying to get what happened prior to the fight. Sydney's talking about in her confessionals how she wished that she was there to stop the fight and yada. Shut the fuck up. Like, you're not gonna do anything to stop the fight. You're not, like, Sydney's very annoying to me because I can already tell she's trying to make herself seem bigger than what she is, and she wants to be that girl, to be seen as somebody that's doing what they need to do to keep the house sane, or be that girl that most of the girls like on the show. But Sydney's just adding her 2 cents in, not really adding up to much of nothing, but like I said, most of this scene is a bunch of nothing. They're just going back and forth talking about the fight. So the next scene, we got Christina. She's basically saying she's still hearing Natalie talking shit from all the way down the hall. So Christina's like, I'm gonna go live. So she's going live to all her Instagram followers, talking about how Natalie's a narcissist, Natalie is crazy, and she's basically disloyal. She's going to basically treat every other girl she named Sarah the same way. Basically treating them like shit, talking shit, not being there for him, just starting bullshit. Which she's probably right, per se, because Natalie knows what it is to sell. Natalie knows what she has to do to sell the reality show that she's on. Natalie, she's a producer as a cast member. She knows what to do that's going to generate views, per se. Whether you think it's fake, scripted, or not, Natalie's going to get clicks. She's going to get clicks. Regardless of the fact of the matter, she's a bad girl. She is one of the bad girls that put the Bad Girls franchise on the map. And that's what she's going to do. And Christina's saying the truth, like, you play with me, and you're going to get your shit cracked. And that's just what it comes down to. I'm not that type of person. She said, I'm Christina Jersey. You're not going to play with me. You want to play with me, we going to fight. And Christina's going to fight. And that's just all it really comes down to. That's basically it. She was basically just going on that live, letting people know, like, Natalie's fake, Natalie's phony, and I'm gonna whoop her ass every time she acts stupid with me. And that's just really what we got. So the next scene, we got Sydney talking about, where's Judy at? Where's Judy at? I gotta go find Judy. And just in the moment, I'm like, okay, so why are you doing this? Like, it's like she's got a battery in her bag where she's like, okay, well, Natalie and Christina just did all this, so now I gotta go do this so I can get my camera time. And she starts talking about how she's not gonna let Judy get away with what she did, yada, yada, yada. And this is where Zeus, this is what I'm talking about. Zeus gotta get this editing shit back together. Like, y'all gotta get it together. Why was this footage not in the first episode? Like, cause clearly the footage that we saw was from the photo shoot that they did, because Natalie was still wearing the pink dress that she was wearing in that photo shoot where she was arguing with Tanisha. So apparently Judy had spit on Sydney. Don't know why, but she did. Which, and you spit on me, I'm the type of person that's always said, like, if you spit on me, we throwing down. Like, I feel like that's the most disrespectful thing you can do, is spit on somebody. Now, who knows why Judy spit on her? Because Sydney is the type of person that she knows what she has to do to get on TV. She knows what they want to see from her on TV, and they want to see drama. And who knows what she did? She might have pushed Judy's buttons, but we don't really have the footage to dissect that and to really understand what the issue was. But they show footage from Sarah's phone. It's basically cell phone footage that they showed from the night before, where Sarah's recording Sydney and Judy fighting and arguing. When I say fighting, they weren't physically fighting, but Sarah's basically recording Sydney saying, like, why the f did you spit on me? If you spit on me, I'm gonna beat your ass, I'm gonna throw a drink on you. First of all, Sydney, don't you think about fighting Judy, because you can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. Secondly, Judy, you shouldn't be spitting on nobody. Like, spitting on people is foul beyond belief, but they're going back and forth. Judy's basically saying, she was basically verbally assaulting me, so now I physically assaulted her. So now I want her to do something about it. So basically Judy's antagonizing her, and then you see Seven basically say, like, you spit on her. Now if she hits you, it's warranted. In a way, I mean, you spit on somebody, what do you expect? Like, somebody's going to swing on you. Then that sets Natalie off. Natalie's pissed off. Why the f you spitting on somebody? Natalie's pissed off. She throws a drink at Judy. She's basically defending Sydney. She's defending the fact that she got spit on, which I respect Natalie for. Natalie's showing a side of her that most people didn't see and don't see or choose not to see. Natalie's not always trying to start drama. She's definitely there for a reason and there for a purpose, and she does stick up for people when she needs to. She did that to Judy on one of those seasons that they were on together. So this scene with Judy and Sydney, I mean, it's just going, it's just some tit for tat stuff. They're both talking mess about each other. Sydney's talking mess about Judy. She's saying, you know what the fuck you did, you spit on me, yada yada yada. Judy's like, yeah, I spit on you because you were literally antagonizing me the whole photo shoot. Which both of them have good points. They're both valid points. Both of them do what they're saying each other are doing. But Sydney then takes it upon herself to try and start dragging Judy. Wrong answer, because her little drags are pretty weak. She starts talking about Judy's wig and yada yada yada. And Judy's like, well, I got real titties. I don't have to go ahead and get my body done and yada yada yada. They both just taking digs at each other, talking shit. Judy hit a little too hard, which made Sydney want to throw a drink at Judy. So as Sydney's throwing that drink at Judy, she does not have any aim at all, and she completely throws that drink on Seven. And Seven immediately gets up and throws her drink on Sydney, and it's like, bitch, cut that shit out. Like, if you can't aim, don't throw no drinks, which is what I'm saying. Like, first of all, why are you throwing drinks? And second of all, if you're going to throw a drink, make sure you hit the right person. So Seven gets up and she's like, yo, like, quick, cut this out. Judy and Sydney are going back and forth, talking mess about each other, just doing, it's stupid. Like, the whole back and forth was really stupid. You can tell it was done for TV, especially on Sydney's end. She's trying real hard to get a rise out of Judy. And the whole situation is just stupid, period. I really don't have much to say about it because it's clearly done for TV, and I don't know what else to say. Like, in this moment in time, this scene was stupid, and it could have been left on the cutting room floor. Like, dumb. And Judy was also saying to Sydney, like, we don't understand why you here. Like, you're not even a bad girl. Like, why are you here? Sydney's saying she got people in Chicago that will come and fuck Judy up. Judy's like, I don't even live in Chicago, bitch. Like, like, I don't understand. But Judy was saying some real shit, like, you just trying so hard to be on this show. You trying so hard to be a bad girl, and you're not a bad girl. Nobody even wants you here. She's speaking facts. Like, there's plenty of other bad girls that could have been on the show, like Kat from season 5. She would have been perfect on the show, and I hope she gets on season 2. I hope she does. I follow her on Instagram. She's really entertaining. She's beautiful. Yeah. Judy was speaking facts, and Sydney was not here for it, and she's talking about you going home, and you're getting evicted this week, and we're getting you up out of the house. You're leaving tonight, yada yada. This stupid shit. Alright, so after the Sydney and Judy bullshit, we get Seven calling Tanisha. Seven and Tanisha kind of, you can already tell they kind of have like this big sister, little sister bond. Seven calls Tanisha because Tanisha does not live in the house, so she's not in the house when all of this stuff is going on. She's filling them in. Oh Lord, please get me through this recap. She's filling them in. She's filling Tanisha in on the fights between Natalie and Christina and the scuffle between Judy and Sydney. And she's basically telling them, like, Christina and Natalie are literally throwing hands. They're getting into it, da-da-da-da. Tanisha's like, wow, what the happened? Like, I need to get over there. So Tanisha's like, okay, I'm on my way over there. Seven's like, yeah, you need to come on, because if you don't come over here and try and fix this, I'm out. It's kind of a filler scene. It is what it is. We get to see more Seven. That's all I really care about, so it's all good. All right, so Tanisha gets over to the house. She's greeted by Seven and Janelle. Seven and Janelle kind of give her a more detailed description of what happened with both fights, Sydney and Judy, and Natalie and Christina. So they start off with Sydney and Judy saying that Sydney feels like Judy is the reason why she was not cast for Bad Girls Club. Just stupid. It's just so, their whole beef is stupid. And it's stupid because of Sydney. Like, Sydney, you weren't cast for Bad Girls Club because you just weren't cast for Bad Girls Club. You applied and you tried out for Bad Girls Club numerous seasons and they just did not put you on the show. And she feels like Judy is the reason why she didn't get put on the show because she feels like Judy told the producers that she was a man. And it was funny because Seven was like, she feels like because she was a she, that she was that she was supposed to be cast on the show. But Sydney, it's just, you just weren't cast on the show because you just weren't cast on the show. Like, they just didn't want you on the show. Like, you got on Love and Hip Hop. Clearly there was a reason why you got on Love and Hip Hop. You just weren't on the Bad Girls Club. We know that that was your lifelong dream. That's what you wanted, but it just wasn't in the cards for you. It's not Judy's fault, and that's what Tanisha's saying. Tanisha's saying, like, how is that Judy's fault? Judy wasn't in casting. Judy wasn't the one that made the decision to not have her on the show. And Janelle's basically co-signing, like, that's just what it is. Like, there's no reason as to why Judy would be getting the brunt for all of this. But then they tell her about Judy spitting on Sydney. And Tanisha's like, that's foul, like, you shouldn't be doing that, which it is foul, like, you shouldn't be spitting on nobody. But, I mean, it happened, that's their beef, that's their issue, so they gotta figure it out. And then Seven and Janelle start to then tell her more details about about Christina and Natalie, and then Christina beefing with the makeup artist and saying, like, Janelle was saying how, Christina was up in the makeup artist's face and the makeup artist was in Christina's face and they were just going at it. And Tanisha's like, why is this going on right now? This is day 2. Like, y'all are already going to blows. And then basically Tanisha gets to the point where she realizes that Natalie's involved and she's saying Natalie's going back and forth with Christina and she's already getting into fights. Tanisha, you can clearly tell Tanisha is upset with the fact that Natalie is already getting into beef with girls and is already getting into fights. You're dealing with bad girls that are back on TV and they clearly want to be on TV. They want to deliver what they're known for, and that just comes with the territory. Tanisha, in a way, seems like she's acting. Seven and Janelle are clearly the two realest ones in the house, if you ask me. They're the two that don't seem like they're putting on for me. They're the only two in the house that don't seem like they're trying too hard to be on TV and are trying too hard to fit a mold of this bad girl. Seven and Janelle are just living their lives in the house and they're just doing what they're doing. But Tanisha then says that she needs to go speak to Sydney and Judy and she needs to go speak to Christina and Natalie and get all sides of the story. So she appreciates Janelle and Seven for pretty much getting her up to speed on what had happened in the house. Seven and Janelle introduced Tanisha into the house of the girls. So they're all sitting in what looks like the living room, kitchen area. And it's all the girls there. And basically they all sit down. And Tanisha's basically like, what the fuck happened? Like, these two had already filled me in. Seven kind of introduced the whole situation. Me and Janelle had already filled in Tanisha on everything that's been going on. Tanisha's like, okay, so what's the deal? Natalie's like, I'm trying to be the peacemaker. As Seven has said, Natalie's trying to be the peacemaker, trying to make peace throughout the house. And Christina is starting to get rah-rah. Christina's like, I'm always ready. Like, I'm here, I'm ready to go. And Tanisha's looking at her like, okay, you kind of scare me at this point. Like, what do you mean you're always ready? And Christina's like, I don't drink. I'm the only one here that doesn't drink. I've drank 3 times today before Tanisha's even gotten here. That's how frustrated and that's how amped up I am. And Christina's like, I'm ready to fight at this point. Like, I'm down for whatever. And Natalie's in her confessional is like, okay, so what's up? And Christina's like, what's up? Like, if we're going to get down and get round 2 in, let's get round 2 in because we can go. Christina's ready. As we all know, Christina is not one that's not ever ready to fight. I got my glasses off. But so as Tanisha's sitting down, she's basically getting into it with the rest of the girls. And she's taking up for Christina. She's like, I know Natalie. Natalie probably did something to provoke Christina. Christina's like, yes, thank you, thank you. And now they're going back and forth with Natalie, and Sarah's piping in defending Natalie. So basically Christina and Tanisha versus Natalie and Sarah. And they're both getting a little loud with each other, and Natalie's basically saying like, I'm here for everybody. Janelle, the reason why Janelle got the makeup is because Janelle literally lost her luggage. She was in a snowstorm. She didn't have any opportunity to really have much of anything to get herself done. So I'm doing what needs to be done to help her out because she doesn't have anything. And Tanisha's like, well, you're the EP as I'm the EP, and you're supposed to be making sure that we all look good together. And you know, if social media sees us looking crazy, we're going to get dragged. Which is stupid, but it's true, because Black Twitter is going to eat your ass up if you on here looking stupid and you on here looking raggedy and ruggedy. But they're going back and forth. Sarah then pipes in and is saying stuff like, if I'm the closest to Natalie and I didn't even get makeup, why should you get it? Da 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 da. Just stupid shit. Like, you can tell Sarah's just trying to be Natalie's lapdog, and she's trying to be clinging on to Natalie like she's Natalie's best friend in the house. Natalie, well, you know, Natalie could care less that Sarah's basically saying she's close to her. But Christina and Tanisha are on Sarah's head at this point. Like, you phony, you fake. Tanisha saying like, you literally talk mad about Natalie the entire time. Now you want to be up her ass and you close to her, yada yada yada. You mad phony, you fake. You fake as shit. And Tanisha then storms off and Sarah's following after her, trying to speak to Tanisha. And Tanisha's like, Sarah literally she basically just spends her time trying to talk to me, and I don't got nothing to say to her because I don't talk to her like that. Like, I don't have nothing to say to you. So Tanisha comes back in from basically having a little disagreement scuffle with Sarah. She gets her in the room with Natalie, Seven, Sydney, and Judy. And she's basically going back and forth for Natalie again, saying like, why did you hit Christina, yada yada yada, why did you fight her? Natalie's like, well, she hit me first, and she basically asked Seven to vouch for her, and they're like, Seven's like, yeah, she hit her first, which she did. And she's basically telling Sarah, like, I'm not talking to you, stop trying to talk to me, because Sarah comes running back in. Natalie is like, I'm not God, I'm doing the best that I can to diffuse certain situations. I can't always diffuse every situation, which is true. Like, she can't always be involved in everything. And Sarah's pissed off because she's got a producer credit as well. She's saying she's trying to be producer, and Tanisha's like, yeah, everything's always got to be about you, Sarah. Like, it's always got to be about you. Just, it's dumb in that moment. That scene was not necessarily needed. I don't think so. I mean, I think it's just manufactured drama at this point. But they're going back and forth. Now they get back onto the Sydney and Judy stuff with the spitting. So then Sydney now is getting all rah-rah and getting all amped up because Tanisha's there in a way coming for Judy for spitting, saying like, people get shot for spitting on people. People get fucked up for spitting on people, which is true. But Sydney's saying you never apologize. Natalie's saying she never apologized. She's saying she's got the video footage to prove it. Judy's like, I don't really give a like, I don't care. Sue me at this point. Like, basically, that's what she's saying. And Natalie's getting back onto the topic of like, in terms of the makeup and stuff, like Judy literally got on camera, on live, telling her fans that like she doesn't want her wig changed, she don't want none of that. So basically Natalie's saying like, I'm not in charge of how these girls want to look on TV, which is true. Like, she's not in charge of that. If they don't want to look a certain way, they don't have to look a certain way. That's their prerogative. They're grown women. If they want to look a certain way, you take the prerogative to do that. So they're just getting back and forth with it, and it's just this whole scene is just stupid at this point. Like, it's pointless. It's going nowhere. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I didn't really finish the rest of the episode because it got stupid at the end. Like, they're going back and forth, and it's clearly like they're acting at this point. Like, it's really looking stupid at this point. They're going back and forth again about the whole makeup situation with Christina and Natalie. As Seven said, Christina hit Natalie. Christina and the makeup artist were going back and forth. That necessarily doesn't have much to do with Natalie per se, but Natalie is like, that's my dude, like, that's my person, that's like my family. And as Tanisha says, like, her makeup artist, her hair people are like her family, and that's what Natalie is saying. Christina, I'm looking at Christina like, yo, like, what are you doing? Like, she's sitting over there, she's doing a lie. It's just like, what are you doing? And she's taking her earrings off. It's like, you can tell she's trying to put on for the cameras, which is kind of frustrating in a moment. It's just like, I don't understand why you're doing all this. And it's like, you can tell she's putting on for the cameras. Tanisha is as well. Natalie, I mean, she's doing what Natalie does, but the whole scene was stupid. Like, and then Christina gets some piece. I don't know what it is. And she starts singing "It's a Brand New Day," which has nothing to do with it. And it's just stupid at the end. And I'm like, I'm not even watching the rest of this. Like, it's stupid. Like, this episode is dumb. This is a wasted review. Truthfully, it's a waste of my time, honestly. I'm still going to continue to watch and review the rest of the show, but it's like this whole episode was stupid. It stayed on the whole day because they're all still wearing the same clothes. But it's just dumb. The episode is stupid. Nothing happened. So next week we got the sneak peek. Natalie and Tanisha are literally sitting there talking about everything going on, how they got each other. You got another scene where Sydney's kind of trying to call Judy a man, which is like, okay, people want to get mad at Judy for being quote unquote transphobic, but you are literally a woman a man that transitioned into a woman, but you're sitting here trying to call this woman a man, asking if she got her balls tucked. Like, make it make sense. Like, you want to scream her transphobia, but you out here trying to call her a man when we all know that you was a man. Like, what are you doing? It's stupid. And then you got Seven and Janelle out talking to Christina. I guess Christina's rehashing the situation again, and Seven saying, like, Christina is worse than I am. She's crazier than I am. And then you got Christina and Natalie sitting down talking about the same situation again. And then it ends up to where they trying to get up in each other's face trying to fight. Who knows what the fuck is going to happen? I don't know. The next episode looked kind of weak. Just like this episode was kind of weak. I just want to skip to when Seven starts putting hands on Sarah. That's what I want to see. But y'all let me know what y'all thought about this episode. I thought it was pretty weak and pretty whack. Who do y'all think won the fight between Christina and Natalie? I think, personally, Natalie, I think she won the fight. You let me know what you think. Run this video up, share it, like, comment, subscribe. Please do that. Subscribe. The video last week got good. It did good for my first review. It did pretty good view-wise. Nobody subscribed. I need y'all to subscribe. Please subscribe. Like I said, let me know what you want to see from me. I'm going to do reviews. I think this is kind of where I'm going to go with this channel. I'm still going to do vlogs and stuff, and I'm thinking about doing mukbangs and stuff as well, and maybe like some life things going on with me, but I'm excited for this channel. I feel like a lot of things are going to come from this. Y'all gave me a good added boost last week. But let me know what you think of the episode. Let me know what you think about me. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. Do that, please. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. And hit that subscribe, like button. And I will catch y'all next week. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we got a good episode next week. Because this thing was some straight boo-boo shit.